All right, so I will talk about season 3 of Tuca Bertie, right?
Right. I did not find
You know,
time for this, unfortunately.
yeah. I would have
Yeah.
loved to talk to you about it with this, right?
Yeah.
So we've covered the first two seasons already. We've enjoyed them, me for what they are, right? The thing is, what surprised me is that I was like massively let down when I heard, after season 1, which came out on Netflix, that the show is gonna get canceled, right?
Right.
Yeah, 'cause I was one of the people who's like, yo, what the hell? Like, no, there's potential in this. There's greatness that could be unearthed further from this show here. Why y'all cancel next now Netflix? I mean, you see this shit going on for years, eh? But anyway, so thankfully the kind folks at Cartoon Network through Adult Swim was like, yeah, we renew the show itself, right? And it makes sense, right?
Right.
Just given the surrealist and or the surrealist animation, the absurdist humor, right? Yeah, that's like that's like a perfect fit for Adult Swim anyway. I mean, yeah, Adult Swim just revels in its absurdity and weirdness, right? And yeah, I mean, Tuk and Bertie fits that very well, right? But it's because it's from the same folks who gave us the masterful BoJack Horseman. There's a lot of heart to it as well too. There's a lot of emotional depth to it as well too. So it's yes, there are some weird, absurd stuff, right? I mean, it does involve two anthropomorphic birds, right?
Yeah.
So it's like, yeah, that's already weird as is, right? And it's voiced by McGill, Tiffany Haddish, sorry, and Ali Wong of
Well,
all
well,
people, right? So
it carry even further. It carry even further the weirdness of from BoJack Horseman. Because BoJack Horseman was just animals, right? This is like plants and mushrooms and inanimate objects.
yeah,
Conscious somehow. What like okay, like it's super weird. Yeah, go ahead.
yeah, it is, right? But yeah, this show kind of carried that whole weirdness even further, right? But then of course too, it was from a female perspective as well too. So yeah, they touch on some, general, female topics and whatnot, right? But
Right.
also what where the show really shines though is just the characterization of Tuca and Bertie itself, right? Because yeah, Tuca right off the bat is, very, loud and in your face, right? Especially with her sexuality and whatnot, right?
Yeah.
In the second season in particular, you saw more of her, more, wanting to date women and all that kind of stuff. In this case, she hooked up with this nurse named Kara, I believe her name is. But
Right.
at the very end, they more or less broke up, right? And that was around the time where in the finale now they had this big flood because
Right.
it's some kind of big issue that went on with
Yeah, the,
so,
the, the,
so
the, the mayor, yeah, the mayor was effing around with the money and making sure was messing up with the drainage. Yeah, I remember that.
yes,
Yeah.
exactly, yeah,
It was
yeah.
no,
And
it was twin mayors. I forget who they are. It's two people.
I think so. Yeah, I think
Yeah,
so. Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. I get that.
But
Well, okay. So I
they
didn't get around
incredibly
to
corrupt. I remember
recapping.
that.
Yeah, I didn't get around to recapping the last season. But yes, they were corrupt though. Actually, yeah, they were. Yeah.
Yeah,
But really, the one who gets the more complex characterization is Bertie, right?
right.
She is very, very, very insecure though, and you think at first it's just social anxiety and whatnot, but you learn something really deep and dark that almost happened to her
Right.
in the first season, right?
Right. I remember
But
that. Yeah.
it all kind of rests on just her upbringing and whatnot, right? Just her not being able to accept herself properly. You know what I mean? She always doubts herself. Every time she does something or she gets some, opportunity, she always kind of like downplays herself. It's always like her kind of thinking, oh no, I'm gonna fail and all that kind of stuff,
Right.
right? But
Yeah.
this adds a lot to the character as well. Too. I think that she is very endearing, right? And then you just have Tuka who just always there to show her that everything is gonna be fine, right? And you get that really, really great, chemistry, right? Not just between the characters, but between the actresses themselves who voice them. This is what the show does very well. You could tell like the actors behind the screen, the scene. Yeah, you could tell they having a blast with it still. Like they're just having fun, just voice these characters, right? But yeah, this season here, I would say a lot happens, right? But essentially we follow right after the aftermath of the flood, right?
Right.
So with Tuka, she starts off working at this what we call this she's this tour guide, right? So we're still in Burtown. There's still flood water in some parts.
Right.
So there's this joke, this running joke basically about her on this this kind of duck shaped float like boat thing, right? And she just showing people, tourists basically the sights and whatnot, right? And it's to the point that because she's just so wild and just wants to have a lot of fun now. There's a moment where she kind of doubts herself as well too, and then she's just like, what, I'm done, and I quit, and she just basically kind of sabotage herself now because she just thinks that she just doesn't have it in her to actually like maintain a job, right?
Right.
Also, she has a new boyfriend actually that just so happens to be a tree, right?
Right.
And I forgot the guy who voiced him actually, right? But essentially it is this British. Well, he has his British accent, whatnot, right? So yes, again, keep it with the style of the show here. Yes, it is a guy who is literally a tree, but he has arms and legs and a chest and legs for reasons, right? That's how it is, right? But yeah, she is like very attracted to him, right? But he now has a issue, he has a hang up now, I should say, with alcohol, right? If you all remember from season 1, Tuca had this she was trying to get stay clear of alcohol. She actually like almost died, from alcohol poisoning. I think that's what happened to her in season 1. Again, haven't seen the first season. I haven't seen those first 2 seasons in a long while, right? But yeah, she has more or less was done with it, right? And now she has a boyfriend who is dealing with it, right? In terms of Bertie now, she gets this new job because remember she was working by herself as this pastry chef, right? But now she's working with this world-renowned chef, right? I think her name is Winter Garcia, right? Yeah, this world-renowned chef, right? So she gets to work with her, right?
Right.
And even there and all too, she is doubtful about, what if I mess things up and blah 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 blah, all that kind of stuff, right? Also it is of her boyfriend Speckle, who is voiced by Stephen Ewan now. There's this episode involving him like wanting to impress his bosses with, this whole construction plan now that he want to do. But like his boss pretty much telling him, no, I want you to do this, and he just want to be a sucker because he wants to be all great and whatnot. And that's in terms of his character, he always wants to be the guy who's always optimistic and happy and always has a smile on his face, right? But yeah, he's melting down inside. He gets depressed. He gets angry at a point. He had to cuss out his boss and whatnot, like straight out cussing him out and whatnot.
Right.
And yeah, he's like back out looking for a job, right? And that's all I'll say about him, right? But yeah, essentially, with Tuca now, well, just back to Tuca now, there is this running, or I should say, this narrative involving her suffering from cramps, right? It's it's stuff that us as men can't really relate, but we know where they're coming from with it, right? But you kind of learn throughout that it kind of has to do with something deeply personal, something more mental, what I mean, in terms of like how she deals with the problem as well, to more or less brush it off like, oh, everything is okay, and I'll deal with it. But then it gets from bad to worse, so I'll stop there in terms of that. Yeah. And with Bertie as well too, just her insecurity just going at the absolute level now, especially with what's going on with Speckle now, and him not having a job, and all it's just a lot that goes on in this season here, right? And I'll stop. So, what I will say though, and this is just me being honest, and this is coming from someone who pretty much has enjoyed the first 2 seasons. This one was good. It was really good. I enjoyed it for what it was, but I felt like in this case the jokes did not land that much, but that just me though, like at this point now, it's all about that weird absurd humor, and you get that. There's this I would say a few episodes in particular that had me in stitches. Is one involving Bertie's friend who is getting married, and everything just pretty much takes place through this wedding, and she runs into Speckle's exes. So there was like a lot of great moments involving that, right? And some great visual gags as well. If this one thing the show nails very well is visual gags, but because like you just watching animation, and then ever so often they will throw some different animation style at you to convey a certain mood or a tone or whatnot. But in particular, they just do this technique like about a few times, but every time I saw it, I was just cracking up, like just laughing my ass off. It was that funny, right? Cause it's just so absurd, man. The show just runs with it, you know what I mean? But that's what I love about it, right? But yeah, still compared to compared to like the second season in particular, I felt like the jokes did not land as much as all that, but that's not to say that the show isn't funny, right? Also, I will say the show really stresses a lot on the characters themselves, right? So yes, you get the weird stuff, right? Also, I forgot to mention there's a particularly funny episode involving snakes, right? If you remember, in this world of Tuca Bertie, right? There are these snake trains, right? And this one
Right.
particular moment, one of the snakes was pregnant. One of the snake trees was pregnant, so a whole bunch of babies came out, and they were literally like just sliding, slithering, sorry, through Bhutan and literally swallowing people.
Yeah.
And it's not like they just kind of run off with it. It's like the people, it just like it covers their entire bodies, and they just kind of walking around like, yeah, I just
Yeah.
got swallowed by a snake, and it happened to
Right.
Tuca and Bertie, and it is hilarious. That's all I'll say. I don't want to spoil anything beyond that, right? So, yeah, like you know what I mean, like you get the weird humor and all that too, right? And if you just love that, if you could just rely on nothing but weird humor to enjoy the show, then yeah, you will enjoy the season, right? But yeah, really where the show shines, where the season particularly shines, or where I felt that they stressed a lot more of is in the characters themselves, right? Especially of Tuca, though. I did not expect this amount of depth that went into her, right? To the point that they touch on her family and something involving her mom, who actually does show up in an episode, right? And is voiced by Jackie Henry of all people.
Okay.
When I saw the credits, I was like, what? Okay, Jackie, okay, do your thing, all right? Yeah, yeah. I grew up on 227 too,
Yeah.
cool. Yeah, so yeah, she was there, right? Um Bertie is kind of the same old stuff that you saw before, in terms of her just not like kind of looking down on herself and whatnot. There's this one actually really great episode involving her meeting this goth girl back when she was a teenager. And they actually kind of touch on the fact that she did a little bit of experimentation back then too, right? But it just didn't work out well, right? Yeah, this if it's one thing I love about the show here is just how it kind of frames these leads as just they like I would say just that's just the two of them, but also Speckle as well too, right? As just imperfect, right? You love them, you laugh at them, but they are imperfect. They are flawed. There are issues about them, and they're not like terrible people. It's just that they've had a lot happen to them in their lives, some good, some bad, and it just kind of really affects their decision making and just their lives and whatnot, their lives and whatnot, right? And the mere fact that they're in their 30s makes it even more relatable to somebody like me, yeah?
Yeah.
Animation wise, I mean, it's still solid. Like you still get that weird stuff. I don't know how Lisa Hannah Walt and her team come up with these ideas, like visual ideas. I don't know how, but like, it's almost to the point like they just almost entirely never take themselves seriously. But you do get like a few serious moments here, like some serious emotional and character moments here. But it's and one thing I love about the show here too is how it visualizes these issues, like case in point, the whole issue, the whole cram thing that Tuca's going through, sorry. And ever so often they will like drop a visual on you that pretty much embodies what she's going through right now. Like it's weird, but if you look at it like symbolically, it makes a lot of sense, right? And where they go with that though was really amazing. And all I would just say in terms of how that character arc ends, 'cause yeah, they carry that whole cram thing to the finale. Like I thought it was just gonna be like 2 episodes, but they actually followed that up way to the end, right? And it's not like in a gimmicky kind of way, right? But it makes sense given the character of Tuca and why she is who she is. It's not just
Right.
oh she's going through she monthlies and why all they making a big scene about it. It's actually way deeper than that, right? Also, I thought that the music was pretty good as well. Yeah, they have some chill hop in some points as well too, which again kind of fits with the whole Adult Swim vibe. Like if you're familiar with their little intros before a show starts, they'll always drop some kind of like really dope kind of chill hop kind of beats and whatnot.
Yeah.
You hear some of that in this show too. I was like, all right,
Yeah.
cool. I as a fan of chill hop, I don't mind, right? Voice acting still strong as always, and it's just like a ton of people that they got on board in this season here. But once again, Tiffany Haddish and Ali Wong, they shine as Tuca and Bertie. You could tell they just haven't an absolute blast with each and every episode that they do voice, right? And same thing with Speckle, boy. Like Speckle is just this lovable idiot,
Yeah.
but just how Stephen Ewan voices it is, you know, it's just so charming at the same time. To like, yeah, you are really a lovable idiot, but again, it's just how he sounds and how he moves and all that. No, you just love him, Jen, and you just love these characters as well too, right? Um, and again, just including the absurdity is just turned up even more in the season here. Some might find the absurdist humor, or I should say the surrealist visuals, to be a little too much in this case. But I say, you know, because it's in a new home now that is Adult Swim, and they're pretty much allowed to just be as weird as they can, then yeah, I mean, just go all out, right? But it does not shortchange the fact that it is about these flawed individuals and what they go through in life and how they deal with it, and how, you know, it's just the friendship that they have as well too, right? So that's really what stands out in this season as well too, right? So I'm glad that
Right.
that's maintained here. But in closing, I did wish that I laughed more at this season. Like that again, not saying that it wasn't funny or anything like that, but just, you know, some moments I was like, all right. And
Yeah.
all right, that look weird, but that kind of funny. I get the joke, okay, but it didn't make me laugh out loud, right? But ever so often they'll drop something that just had me in stitches. But there were some episodes that really did stand out, like that one with the snakes, for example. That one was a standout, and even the finale as well too, which I do not want to spoil at all. But the finale was a standout as well too. All I'll just say, I'll just drop one word in a space. If you remember that movie, yeah, it kind of got a gist of what you could expect with that finale, right? But in closing, this is just another solid season from the show here. It's not as great as season 2, unfortunately, but this is still a solid entry in this season here, right? I would like for there to be a fourth season. I do hope that we get one. I don't like even where it stops right now, you could tell that there's room for more, right? We do want to see more misadventures, you know, of Tuca and Bertie, right? But for now, for what it is, yeah, this is still worth checking out though. Even though for me personally, not all the jokes, you know, just hit not
Right.
all the jokes hit their respective landing, right? So rating wise, I'm gonna give this decent strong 3.5 out of 5, man. It is worth checking out. It's on Adult Swim right now. Definitely check it out. It's in the right home, I would say. You'll be just see that it was on Netflix, and I guess they didn't know what to do with it. But yeah, Adult Swim is the perfect home for it, and I do want to see more seasons out of it. If I am to be honest, I think we might get probably like I don't know, 2-3 more seasons, and then we might kind of end things on a really emotional note, like say maybe not as heavy as say BoJack Horseman, but because of the show that this clearly is kind of referencing to unconsciously, that would be Broad City, right? Yeah, it is kind of like a animated Broad City, but just with, you know, weird creatures and all that kind of stuff, right? But yeah, I think Broad City went for like what 5-6 seasons. I think it was. I
Right.
think it was
Yeah,
five or
around
something
that,
like
yeah.
that. Around that, yeah. Yeah, that's what I think this show will go on for. I don't think it will go
Right.
on beyond 5 or 6. There's no reason for it, right? But yeah, again, you know, solid writing, solid voice acting, solid animation. Very relatable characters as well too, and just weird, absurd shit for the sake of it. But yeah, this was another solid entry. So I do hope that we get a season 4, and yeah, when it does come out, yeah, I will definitely check that out, man.
Nice one.